Have you ever watched a single episode of a show and thought to yourself, this is it? This is the best episode of any show that has ever aired, ever. No other episode of trite subpar Netflix crap will ever live up to this televisual moment. Nothing else Japan produces shall ever match up to the glory I see before mine eyes in this here moment. Yea, this is what we have been living for, sat eagerly affixed to the chair, neck straining and eyes reddening, as living legends perform their hearts out to scores that must have been composed by someone heaven sent themselves. This is it. No, neither have I. I have never once in my life taken to the internet to rate or review a show on a public forum and cast a vote to help it attain a place immortal in the annals of history. I've made one incredibly serious video discussing the masterpiece that is Miru Tights, but otherwise I have kept my lofty opinions to myself. But others, they revel in the game of anime analytics, studying the ebb and flow of the ever-changing seasonal landscape, and they use their voice and more importantly their vote to champion whichsoever mainstream piece of shit that happens to grab their attention each season. But never before have I witnessed an army of weebs so desperate to secure their soy boy trash tier generic shonen shit a place in history so badly. For as of last night, and still currently whilst I write this, and narrate this, in a state of confusion and horror, Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 Episode 5 is the highest rated episode of anything ever. On my anime list, on Reddit, but most importantly, on fucking IMDB. Slaughtering the genius storytelling, set building and acting of early Game of Thrones with the Red Wedding or the murder of Ned Stark. Massacring Breaking Bad and humiliating the writers into abusing the very drugs they so passionately wrote about. That's just conjecture. This is the only anime to be featured on IMDb's top 10 as far as episodes of shows are concerned. Heck, it's not just number 1, it's number 9 as well. In fact, it's the only anime within the top 30. This seems a little bit wrong to me. Now, full disclosure, I haven't watched Attack on Titan since the first season. I passionately read the manga and fell deeply in love with its poorly illustrated but highly descriptive scenes of action. Filled with momentum and movement, the artist had a flair for rough, sketchy and mildly terrifying artwork that bordered on being considered heta-uma by some. And then came out the anime, the most bland, stiff and poorly animated piece of garbage I've ever endured. Yes, the OP is fucking epic. And they look so cool when they are actually in motion, but the simple facts are that more than 95% of that first season is still shots of people talking and reacting. The brutal, visceral, and non-stop action of the manga was reduced and turned into episode after episode of people standing around looking very shiny and pretty, but not really moving or ever being animated. What should have been an excuse for an experimental dynamic show filled to the brim with sakuga and unique artistic choices, something like Mob Psycho, was turned into one of the most painful to look at generic pieces of shiny-ass shit I've ever seen. In a word, they fucked it. People loved it, but people are idiots. But bro, it's like The Walking Dead, but an anime. It's so brutal, bro. It's so violent, man. You never know who's gonna die, man. Bro, it's like Game of Thrones, man. It's savage, man. I accepted these sorts of responses from the school children I taught at the time, but from adults? What the fuck is wrong with you? No, it was terrible, and if you honestly think otherwise, then this entire endeavour is probably wasted on you. I would say go watch Season 1 of One Punch Man, Season 1, or Redline or Mob Psycho and experience quality animation, voice acting, storytelling, choreography, cinematography and sound design. But you probably won't understand why what you are watching is better, because you already have no taste. You like Attack on Titan. I don't expect you to appreciate artistry. You're just in it for the edgy deathsu, those epic moments of actual Sakuga that you spend entire episodes waiting for, and that fucking OP. Or am I just being a judgmental prick? When I stopped reading the manga, it was actually around the point that the anime is at now. So I figure, armed with some very dated knowledge and jaded views, I'm going to give this one a fresh go. Just one episode of this trash tier anime a shot. After all, this is the best episode of anything ever, apparently. And so by that metric, I figure even with limited understanding, it should still be fairly enjoyable, right? Right? I mean, I've shown people episode 8 of season 2 of Mob Psycho, and that's convinced them in 20 minutes to go and binge the whole 2 seasons in a single day. It's a powerful fucking episode, and it works alone. It's filled to the brim with sublime animation and evocative storytelling, and it has the power to get anyone that watches it, even without any understanding, to a fairly significant level of hype and excitement. I know this is a stupid test, but fuck it. Let's do it. I mean, for fuck's sake, that was really good. Really good. Really fucking good. Fuck. So, I still can't let it speak for the entire series, and a few moments in the episode lead me to believe that some of its old issues still remain. But fuck. That was good. The first few minutes had me gripped. The visible desperation within the characters on screen bled through my laptop screen, and that speech had me instantly pumped up for carnage in action. Within seconds, my hopes were brutally met as visceral, gut-wrenching and stomach-churning death started filling the screen in abundance. Dramatic, slow-motion shots punctuating the fast-paced violence, all overlaid by some gratuitously crunchy sound design and a booming orchestral and choral score. Then the OP started, and I was very confused again. I swear this is the original OP, slightly different. It's like a weird inferior clone performed by a band desperate to capitulate on prior success. The animation is slick, fluid, and incredibly well choreographed, which does make for a simple viewing pleasure. So, the episode begins properly, and so after the OP, the episode begins properly, and once again I was engrossed. A strangely philosophical diatribe is given by one of the show's titular titans, making for a powerfully thought-provoking moment as he comments on the absurdities of man, and I'm just gonna have to do this weed mode, sorry. So yeah, I'm immediately hyped by like all this stuff going down at the start. Like, it's just crazy. It's just mad. It's so hyped. The music is epic. It's some pump and shit. I'm liking the facial animation. Then boom, bloody, visceral. God, it's violence. Some nasty stuff. This really. Woo. But this is the stuff that we started reading Attack on Titan for. You know, flowing, pumping action that is visceral and exciting, and then straight into this OP, which is just kind of weird, like really well animated. I'm loving all this super slow-mo stuff. It's so sexy, it's so cool, but blah 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 blah. You got this guy and he's talking all this philosophical stuff, and it's crazy, and he's crushing rocks. It's bullshit, it's mad, and then he's throwing rocks, and he's talking, and you get to see this guy, and he's terrified. He thinks his life is over, and he's dreaming about his girlfriend or some stuff. Oh, she's sleeping in. That sounds so nice. Bam! He's dead. Dead, motherfucker. You dead. Fucking one hit KO. But they keep coming. They just keep coming. They keep going. He's like, why are they doing this? And they don't care, and they're just like rushing in. I'm loving this. Again, this facial animation is gorgeous. So well done. Such gritty, terrifying expressions on their faces. It's powerful. palpable. You can feel it. And the mangled bodies flying through the air and the shrapnel and the visual effects. It's all gorgeous. And it really leads to this sort of like tension, this atmosphere of what's going to go down. How is it possible for humanity to survive this? And bam, in comes Captain Levi. And bam, the animation is crazy. You get this cool little flashback. Bam, and his eyes get gouged out. And he's like, whoa, I'm going to fucking fuck you up, bro. And he's like, I'm going to harden. He's like, nah, too late, motherfucker. And he cuts him up to shit. That's some crazy stuff. And you think it's all going to go well. And then out of fucking nowhere, well, first I was like, shit, is Levi gonna like resurrect a comrade as a Titan? That's not something you should be doing, bro. That's probably a bad idea, man. But no, it's too late. Doesn't matter for shit, because he gets out of there, he's rescued, and Titan's attacking, and then you get another gorgeous bit of animation as he hacks them all to shit. And I can't even. And then you go to the classic boys, and I'm a bit amazed that all like the main characters are still alive. That's a hefty bit of plot armor right there, but I can forgive that. Some stuff goes down, chatting. This is probably the worst bit of the episode, and this reminded me of season 1 of Attack on Titan, the way they just stood around talking. But at the same time, the facial animation, the lighting, it's all really nice. I wasn't a fan of the facial animation in season 1, and this stuff looks good. I'm liking the sketchy rough lines they've added to everything. It looks much more sketchy and like it was in the actual manga, and I appreciate that. And then, you know, Armin's being a bit of a G, and I like that. This is his moment to shine, and some shit's going down. You get some nice music and these nice panning shots, and it's feeling really like something special, something epic, like everything's coming to a head. It does feel like the animators knew and the production team knew when making this episode that they were making something important, that this was going to be something that exploded, and by God, it certainly has. Don't know if it's worth being like the best episode of anything ever, but this is some good shit. And then we get more of the boring old like scenes of them just flying through the air, never moving. I've always found that stuff really weird, the way they just sort of fly through the city and you never actually see them using the gear. I think that always looks a bit shit. It's like early Spider-Man where he's just flying through the sky. But then you get this gorgeous bit of animation, lovely bit of facial animation. They're attacking. You get a little flashback, and everything's just coming to this really meaty head. The music is so pumping. I was genuinely on the edge of my seat, just like, whoa, how the fuck is this going to go down? And then you get this crazy, massive attack, and somehow Armin survives, and it's all cool, and it keeps switching between the two guys, and it's really exciting. And this epic, I really like this scene where they're attacking Reina, and like they're doing this 4-on-1 attack, and you think everything's going to go okay, and they're describing how the attack's going to go. First I act as a decoy, and then BAM! Like as they're describing how the attack is meant to go, the attack fucks up, and it goes slightly wrong. The attack goes wrong. And then out of nowhere, a little bit of Deus Ex Machina, wonderful, like just I'm going to magically save the day through plot device. Out comes this chick that I don't really remember who she is, but she just shows up out of nowhere, manages to blow the fuck out of his mouth, and it's all good. Oh wait, before we actually get to that, spoilers, bruh, for the episode that I'm giving you major spoilers for. We then get some more shit with Armin, and he's literally like burning up. He is burning up, and he gets the respect. It seems he finally gets the respect of his enemy in this moment. The respect, but also a bit of like disappointment at this stupid plan as far as this guy can tell. But Armin is just gritting his teeth, and he's going for it, and it's epic. And bruh, the most like terrifyingly hot thing. Like this looks hot and is genuinely painful to watch as Armin's body is just melted and flayed apart and incinerated, and that's a really good epic ending to a decent character. Like plot armor ain't gonna save you from that one, bruh. That was some cool shit. I respect that. Balls. Following the manga, doing things correctly. This is what I want. And then bam, magic like Deus Ex Machina girl shows up, whipping around the place. Epic attack. Mikasa's in there. Fucking epic finishing attack. Looks gorgeous. Gorgeously animated. All this stuff tying in so well. And then, you know, you think that Armin and Eren have failed, and bam, he's actually turned himself to stone. And at that moment, the guy Bernhardt, whatever he's called, fucking realizes it's a trap. And what a gorgeous bit of animation as Eren finishes him off. What a beautiful fucking attack. Very epic. Very cool. Much appreciated. I love the lack of music here, the subtlety. It just makes the whole thing so fucking epic. Yeah. Still don't know if it's the best episode of anything ever. Don't agree with that. Cowboy Bebop. Well, just many episodes within Cowboy Bebop beat this. Many episodes from Avatar: The Last Firebender, I feel, beat this. Oh god, yeah, Cowboy Bebop, like the episode with that madman, the bouncy around guy, like that's like episode 18 or something. And I just showed that girlfriend that episode once as a standalone, and she didn't enjoy the rest of Cowboy Bebop as it turns out. But that episode, oh, it's just like a horror masterpiece. Episode 8, as I've said before, of Mob Psycho, absolute fucking masterpiece. Space Dandy, the Great Space Race, that particular episode, fucking masterpiece. All of those are things I would rate higher than this. Goku going Super Saiyan 3 for the first time, I would say that's a much more important episode within millions of people's minds. But well done, the Attack on Titan community. This was a really fucking good episode. I am willing to say this looks like the series is not what it was in season 1. And if it continues this way, I think any fan of this is in for an absolute treat. And you go ahead, keep on rating it highly, keep on sharing this with the world. More people do need to see quality, top-notch storytelling and animation like this. This is fucking cool. Peace. Special thanks this episode to an incredibly patient dog. He is such a good boy.